We're now talking to former Orioles, Blue Jays, and Yankees pitcher, Josh Towers. Josh, what's going on, man?
Well, look you can see the sign behind me, man. Please unplug. Let's enjoy anybody's company. There's no apps on here. Just kidding. I got something.
I'm just kidding too. I mean, listen, when we have all these different people, how do I find your app? How do I find your app? And then is it one of those apps? Is it actually easy to use? And I say just download it. All you have to do is open it up, and it's right there, right in front of you. You don't have to go to a different avenue. You don't have to go to a different, wall or any of that stuff. It's on the same wall. It's very easy to use, and it's very customly made for the older fan. So we're very happy for that. But let's get into you.
What's an older fan? What's the age limit?
Don't worry. There's this 5-year generational gap.
I'm getting old.
I don't know why there's a 5-year generational gap already between you two.
I'm older. I'm older. Am I older than he is?
Josh is 5 years older than you, but that shouldn't be that much of a generational gap. But okay.
I'm an old man. I turned 40 this year. I feel old, man. I feel wrinkly. But some people say you look good for your age. I think you look good for your age, but. My limbs are hurting. I'm in the gym. Yeah, and after the surgery, I had the same surgery as Alex did, Alex Rodriguez. I had neck surgery over the last 2 years. So it's, to recuperate injuries like that, it's different when you're an athlete and then getting into a car accident and really trying to protect yourself the way I did. It's hard, man, but I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm alive. I got my blood today. It's pretty good. So I'm healthy, ladies and gentlemen. So that's a good sign. Anyways, let's not talk about me. We have you on, and the last time we had you on the show, we had a great conversation. You told us a lot of great stories about Brian Cashman and your career with the New York Yankees. Before we get into that, how are you and your family doing from COVID-19?
Yeah, actually recently, few months ago, finally got it for the first time. It kicked my butt for a couple of days, like the first 2 days, and it just lingers for a while. Luckily with the kids who got it, it was just like a minor cold, nothing big. So I, kind of got lucky with it, I guess.
Oh, I wasn't lucky. And no, I had hip surgery, and then 2 weeks later, when I couldn't walk, I had the Delta, and I couldn't. Just imagine, I couldn't walk.
All out of work,
oh my God, I couldn't walk. I had to go to the bathroom over and over and over again. I was hobbling to the bathroom, and I had a fever. I lost 30 pounds. 30 pounds. It's crazy, Josh. 30 pounds. And I lost that in about 11 days. And then I had to get the muscle back and everything. It took me about a month and a half to learn how to walk again. It was horrible. I don't wish that upon anybody. But happy that you're okay. You and your family are good, and happy that we can move forward. And I've been checking out the stuff that you've been doing, your podcast and everything like that. You're doing great, man.
Yeah, VSiN's fun, man. We do. I have fun going to the studio over there and talking sports with the boys, and when we get guests on, so we have a good time over there. And I think I backed off the Twitter a little bit of running my mouth, taking it easy on the boys in baseball. But now the VSiN stuff's good. We have a good time.
It's all about quality, not quantity.
Well,
I guess it depends, Speedy.
You can talk about New York sports.
No, your Twitter, I've followed since the last time we've had you on your show. A lot of good baseball takes, but you're right. You're right. I was scrolling through it throughout the day. Like they are all spaced out now, but they're all good.
Yeah. Again, I backed off the White Sox. I've taken it easy on them.
I mean, the fans over there are going crazy. I mean, everybody expected the White Sox to be a playoff team. Tony La Russa couldn't stay healthy this year. Maybe it's the end of Tony La Russa. I mean, the man's like 80-something years old. I mean, he's still managing in baseball. I mean, it's amazing what Albert Pujols is doing right now, being that it's his last year. And really, I want to get into this, the Aaron Judge thing. It's really become a huge story all over baseball. And if you look at the stats, the crazy stats, he is led offensively in almost 10 different stats, including WAR right now in the major leagues. What is your thoughts on a run like this for Aaron Judge? And if the New York Yankees somehow win a World Series, is this the greatest season any player has ever had in Major League history?
No, and no again. Nothing against Aaron, man. This kid's had a phenomenal year. And my favorite thing about him is he turned down $230 million. I don't like the fact that he turned it down at the age he turned it down because it's hard to get. You're looking at Freddie Freeman in LA at the same age. What he got was pretty impressive, and you're going to turn down $230. So that kind of caught me off guard. But then he went and backed it up. And as of, I think, yesterday or today, he's leading the league in average now. So he's the Triple Crown leader, which is probably the most impressive part. I mean, he took that home run lead in April and ran with it the whole time. So he's always been comfortable there. I don't like the fact that we're like modern day era record, not modern day or whatever the word they're using. Like,
live
we're
ball
trying to
era.
86 Barry Bonds. Yeah, whatever. We're trying to 86 Barry Bonds as if he didn't hit 73 and he's not the legit home run guy. He's nowhere close to what Barry Bonds did. And if we're talking about the best single season of all time, I mean, Bonds' career average is high what Aaron Judge is doing for a season, right? So I don't know why we're dismissing the greatest player of all time for a good season. It's a great season. And I hope he gets paid wherever he goes. I really do. I hope he stays in New York because it's good for the city. But I just, to compare it to what some other people did and say it's the greatest offensive season of all time, I just think it's ridiculous. But if he wins the Triple Crown, we've only seen it since Miguel Cabrera and Ted Williams. So I think at that point you kind of hand him the MVP, even though Shohei Ohtani is on another level of whatever he's capable. I mean, it's just gross what he does. But I don't know, man. Like, I can't compare generational stats. I can't compare like one good season to history. I love what he's doing, but it's not. I mean, Delgado had 95 steaks at the All-Star game one year, a couple years back, and he finished for like 150. I mean, Judge is nowhere near that, right? So it's just weird for me, those comparisons.
So I don't know if you saw this stat. I think there was something where Barry Bonds, they said, had 17 intentional walks, which is what Aaron Judge has had this season. It's like a 14-game stretch or something like that. Yeah. So
we weren't supposed to pitch to him. I mean, arrogantly, you kind of want to face him, right? And then you're down 4-1, so you say, yeah, fine, I'll face him. But, there's a couple guys over the history of the game we weren't allowed to pitch to. I remember, like, Vladimir Guerrero, we were told you can throw the ball between the two dugouts, but you weren't allowed to throw it over home plate. That was our scouting report. Chipper Jones, you were never allowed to throw him a fastball or a first-pitch fastball for sure, but never allowed to throw him a fastball, which I thought was weird. And Barry Bonds, we just weren't supposed to pitch to him, but of course we did.
Vladimir Guerrero, you can't even throw it over the plate in the dirt. He'll still single that into left field.
No, listen, my first career shutout. Did I tell you the story? He was coming up fourth in the ninth inning, and I was like, just go 1, 2, 3. I don't want to face Vladdy. Like, I just want to get your shutout. With 2 outs, it's like Lee Stevens, I think, hits a bloop single to left field, and here comes Vladdy, and I was like, oh, Lord have mercy. And all I got is a scouting report in my head, past the previous 3 at bats. I threw a ball that I feel like, where's my head? I feel like it was like above his head, like right here. I was trying to go high, and he hit a bomb to left field, and I just, like, my head just sank. It hit the track and bounced over for a ground rule double, and I got couldn't believe that he was able to get to it.
So basically, yeah, you can't throw it in the dirt. You can't throw it up there to Vladimir Guerrero. In terms of Miguel Cabrera, who Errol mentioned earlier with the Triple Crown, you also can't try to intentionally walk him because he'll hit that. So
that's another Oriole feat. We're good for some stuff, man.
Yeah. So my question is, I know you played with the Yankees. You played with CC Sabathia for a year over there, and he had some comments about Aaron Judge. He was still saying about Ohtani being the MVP. Are you surprised he kind of not criticized, but kind of shied away from like defending his teammate in this kind of heated debate?
I don't think people realize. Obviously, we realize how hard it is, like a season that Aaron Judge is having, right? Like the Yankees' offensively to me are just terrible. The early success was based on pitching. Every starter was going 7 innings, and it set the tone for the bullpen. And now we see where they're not doing that, and the bullpen's getting overworked, right? And Aaron Judge has been the one consistent. So it's a beautiful season. When I don't have to pitch to him, why do I again, I'm talking about Barry Bonds, why am I pitching Aaron Judge when I got Giancarlo Stanton and Josh Donaldson and Rizzo who's hitting 210 or whatever? Why do I need to face this guy? But again, we do. I think pitchers respect it a little bit more because I think we understand how hard it is. Like you take your average baseball player and they can't pitch. It's just not that easy. And so with the work that it goes into play every 5 days on the mound or whatever he's doing 6 days, and then you're going to mix in super sore, rebuilding your body, your strength, your bullpen days, all the different stuff that we do, the cardio, all the stuff, and you're going to 86 that in essence, and you're going to become a hitter every day, including the day you pitch, and then you're going to put up MVP stats too, right? So it's hard to really compare to the average person because we all play 2 positions in Little League, so we all think it's not a big deal. But that at this elite level that the Major League Baseball is, and Shohei Ohtani is one of the top 5 elite pitchers in our game, and then he's also one of the top 5 elite hitters of the game, and he's doing both. I think it's not comparable, so it's tough. But I think at this point, like I've been a Shohei Ohtani guy for an MVP all season, but at this point, I think Aaron Judge has finished so strong, and if he wins the Triple Crown, it goes without saying, right?
We are talking to former Orioles, Blue Jays, and Yankee Josh Towers, friend of the show, funny guy, great stories as always. And we're talking about Aaron Judge and what Aaron Judge has done this year. Shohei Ohtani, he's been fantastic. But we have to look at both those teams. The Angels are not making the playoffs. You have two of the best players in baseball, and Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani on the same team, and somehow this team can't find a way. And in a division that's definitely winnable. It's not what you call a dominant division. It really isn't. It really
the
isn't.
Houston Astros are by far the best team in baseball. I don't think that team in the game.
I understand that, and maybe so. Maybe they're a wild card team. I think the Angels with the talent that they have right now, they should be in the playoffs. And to me, that speaks words for what this team is when it comes to leadership. Is Mike Trout a leader? Is he just a quiet guy in the locker room? Is Shohei Ohtani, obviously he doesn't talk a lot of English. Maybe he's not a leader, you know. So they don't have the leadership. We all know who leads with the Yankees by example.
There's so much more than that, right? Like I do need leadership. I need these veteran guys to step up and put me in my place. I need somebody to make sacrifice. There's a lot of things that go on, right, successfully, right? And then you have to have a lot of players that intervene throughout the course of the year because we play 162 plus 45 in spring training, and there's a lot of things that happen. It has to be built on pitching and defense. And the Angels minor league system has not been good. They haven't developed anything. You got the two best players, questionably now, two of the top three best players in the game on your team. But offense doesn't win baseball games for 162 games. Pitching and defense does, and they're built to not do any of that. I mean, again, last year's draft, they took 20 pitchers in 20 rounds as if that was going to change their minor league system. It was like the dumbest thing you can do, and it's completely disrespectful to the major league team because what if you needed a couple other pieces mixed in somewhere and you don't go down and address your minor league pitching coordinator and your director of player development and all the other coaches you have? Like there's a system flaw in that organization, and it starts from the bottom, and they are not turning out anything in the big leagues. And then you get Detmers, who shouldn't have been in the big leagues last year or this year. They rushed him to the big leagues, and he's actually done a respectful job. But those are the guys you're basing on. Then you're going to go give Noah Syndergaard $25 million if he's going to do something. 2 years MIA, right? We haven't seen the kid. And you also have Sandoval, who's really good. You have Shohei, who's really good. And you still can't win? Yeah. Like, there's a whole system flaw with that organization, and it's not the players, in my opinion.
So, looking at the team right now as a whole, in the offseason, do you trade Mike Trout? Do you trade Shohei Ohtani to try to rebuild that farm system that you don't have?
I mean, do you like your fan base? Do you like what you draw? Because there's going to be a massive right? There's going to be a depletion in fans, man. I mean, it's a great stadium, and we come in every direction from LA and that whole surrounding Anaheim area. Like you pull from everywhere, it's awesome. But when you go to those games, like I've been to a game recently, when you go to those games, the excitement to watch Shohei Ohtani, it trumps Mike Trout tenfold. It's not even close with the fans. So like they got to sit down with Shohei now and like, listen, what is the chances that we're going to sign you and give you $500 million, whatever it is? And what are the chances? Let's start working this deal out now. Shohei wants to win. Like the Japanese guys, it's not about money. It's not about clout. Like these guys really want to win. He thought he chose the right place. And then Mike Trout's the other thing, like, first off, like I got to take on a $400-something million contract, and you haven't played a full season in a few years, and I don't know your health, right? So there's a lot of ask with that. You're going to get way more in return for Shohei Ohtani, and I think Shohei would want out before Mike would want out for sure. But I can't, like, we print money in Anaheim, right? I can't let either one of them go. I can't.
See, the Angels will have fans. They'll just have to clone the rally monkey, and then that'll be their entire fan base.
Right? Bring Troy Percival back. We're good to go, man. I'm telling you right now, like Shohei Ohtani is a draw for the fans. As players, we would get on the top step and wait for that to come on the screen, and we get super excited, which also meant we were probably about to lose, but it was still awesome. Yeah, I say that. Bring the rally monkey back. For sure.
Either that, or maybe they could move him to your hometown in Vegas. Vegas could use a baseball team.
That might be a good idea. That might happen soon.
We got plenty of space, man.
Yeah.